Thank you so much to Eleanor and Samira for bringing more sustainability to Rise today. Next up, this is not just another AI talk. This is the only AI talk that you need to hear. My name's Claire McHardy. I'm an inclusion partner at Creative Equals, and I'm here to ask today, and we're going to answer together, what's the single biggest challenge with AI that nobody else is really talking about? Because in this industry, we're talking about AI a lot, right? I mean, from the M- debate to those personalized action minifigures, to the tech bros giving their hot takes on which of our jobs are going to exist in the next 2 years or not. It's a lot. But at Creative Equals, we think there is one huge issue, huge challenge that's not on the radar, but it's one that we all need to be thinking about, talking about, and acting on. And I'd like to thank my colleague at Creative Equals, Ishani, for her help in putting this presentation together today. So let's start with a question. Just think, you can shout it out, you can tell your table if you want. What's one word that comes to mind when you think about AI? What's the first thing that springs to mind? Hold that in your mind. For us, there's 2 words, so I'm cheating, sorribly. We've got 2 words. And the first one, of course, it's opportunity. I mean, wow. The opportunity is huge. The power of AI for marketeers, we all know it, right? It's an absolute game changer. When you think about what it can do for us in terms of competitive advantage, in terms of efficiency and productivity, and how we can create more customer-centric experiences, it's here, and it's huge, and it's massive, and we're all on board. But the second word that comes to mind for us is responsibility. Because in the words of my favorite philosopher, Spider-Man's uncle, with great power comes great responsibility. And we are standing as an industry right now at an absolutely pivotal moment. Now is the moment to decide. Are we going to simply use AI, because that's happening for sure, or are we going to use it responsibly and inclusively? And those decisions that we make now are shaping the whole industry and the future of that industry and how it moves forward. So we can move fast and break things, and sometimes that's a great approach, and we've all used it to great effect before. But sometimes we may need to pause and to lay down our ethics and responsibilities and make sure we avoid replicating and amplifying the stereotypes and other challenges in inclusive marketing that we in this room have all worked so hard together to fight against. Because AI does come with a few risks for brands, along with all of that opportunity. You know, there are the obvious ones, the lack of distinctiveness, the sea of sameness, the AI hallucinations, the misinformation and how that can all be amplified, the skills gap, the impact on jobs and careers, and maybe something a bit less obvious that doesn't spring to mind immediately, but a lack of cultural nuance. That's particularly important in inclusive marketing. Because we can't afford to leave the human behind. Doing so would really ignore our capacity for empathy and for cultural understanding. But let's get back to that big bit that no one's talking about, the elephant in the room. What is the part in AI that no one's talking about? It's bias. As human beings, we are biased. This fantastic image shows 188 different cognitive biases that our brains are programmed to use. They help us to process, to categorize, to retain information, to make decisions. But they can lead to flawed decision-making and false assumptions. And in the marketing process, and in the decisions that we make in marketing, they can contribute to the perpetuation of harmful stereotypes and the marginalization of already marginalized communities. Inclusion is not the default with AI. Bias is the default. And that creates a really dangerous feedback loop. It's dangerous, it's powerful, it's systematic, because we're starting with all that human bias, the stereotypes and the assumptions that have been created by society over thousands of years, and they inform the stories we tell, the data we generate, the decisions we make, the systems that we build. But then the AI tools are being built and trained with that data, and they're not just reflecting it, they're amplifying it. And AI is no longer a tool that we control. It's already acting on our behalf. Now, I really wish that we had some time today to do some live inclusive prompting. We've been doing some sessions recently with Ian Crocombe, our partner at Deft.ai, and with ISBA, and there's a lot you can do in those sessions. But in the interest of time, buckle up, because here's some bias I reproduced earlier. We're going to keep it really nice and simple to start with. Firstly, I asked several different AI tools to generate an image of a bartender. And this is what I got. I think I can hear the tides of the sea of sameness gently crashing against the shore. Next, I went for a bit more of a complex prompt, thinking about something that I might use in a day-to-day marketing job. Generate an image of a UK couple aged over 50 enjoying a coffee at a high street chain. I put this into 2 different engines. Here's what I got. I didn't specify Costa, by the way, so if there's any other coffee chains in the room, that's a whole other exercise to be thinking about. Okay, so next I used exactly the same prompt, but I added the word diverse. And I got this. Any thoughts? Next, I specifically asked for same sex, and just watch closely for the image on the right here. Look, I'm obviously trying to make a point here. I've not got very much time, and I'm trying to do that very quickly and visually. Those were not thoughtful, inclusive prompts that I used. It can be done much, much better. And I'm not suggesting for a second that any of the marketeers in the room here are going to be putting this kind of imagery out there on their socials and in your next out-of-home campaign without a lot more thought and consideration. But it is, it does kind of bring the serious point to it. And there's so many more stats and research coming out, like the fact that 40% of AI-generated images by some of the main engines depict unrealistic body types. So suddenly it starts to feel a bit more serious. AI is entering the whole campaign process. I'm going to speed right through this, but we all know our marketing process. It looks a bit similar, a bit different for all organizations. But the possibility for human bias to creep into that process, we in this room have all known about that for a long time. But now overlay the AI tools that you're using and think about how that bias can then be replicated at a speed and at a scale that humans alone are just not capable of. And we know this. This isn't just about AI, but in marketing in general. Inclusion can't be an afterthought. It must be the foundation. But the tools were already built, so, how do we still break the bias in AI? Well, don't worry, we've got you. What can you do differently starting from tomorrow? Well, you can counter the risk by being consciously inclusive, whether that's through inclusive prompting and also through being consciously inclusive in your critical analysis of the output. And how to do that even more specifically, we have got a little roadmap for you here from Creative Equals. Here's 5 things you can do. Set your inclusive marketing strategy. Obviously, I'm sure most of the brands in the room will have that. If you don't, come and talk to me. Then train your AI models on diverse data sets. Your data sets historically are biased. Educate your teams on bias. Carry on doing the training on applied bias. Keep that going. Train the humans in the loop. And train them also on how to prompt inclusively and to reiterate until you get to the best possible output. Finally, think about that across the whole of the marketing process and the AI tools. Again, if you'd like to talk to me about any of those things, we can help out with training. I'm here all day. And thank you for engaging with this really important topic. Thank you.